Hi, my name is Per Lövberg. That's a Swedish name. I'm one of two founders of Emerging Cooking Solutions. The other founder's name is Mattias Olsson. We are a biomass fuel company with a market-based solution for Africa's lack of access to clean cooking fuel. So basically, I'll give you a little bit of the background of why we're doing what we're doing and why it is necessary. Let me just start with telling you that there's about 3 billion people worldwide who cook over solid fuels such as firewood and charcoal. In Africa, we're talking about 700 million people, and that's expected to rise to 900 million by 2030. The issue with that, the issues I would say with the cooking this way are many. For example, we have an incredible deforestation going on. Kenya has already lost 97% of its forests. Madagascar has lost 98% of its original forests. And Zambia, where we are based, is losing at an astounding rate 250 to 300,000 hectares every year. And this just goes to cooking fuel, most of this. This is a very serious problem also in terms of climate change. Charcoal is made in a very inefficient way. The emissions are about 4 to 6 tons of CO2 per household and year. It's also very unhealthy. Cooking indoor with solid fuels is as unhealthy as smoking about 40 to 60 cigarettes per day. And it causes 4 million premature deaths every year, according to WHO's recent study. It's also a very time-consuming and tiring way of cooking, and which people don't really know, it's also very expensive. And it locks people into a poverty trap. People spend between $20 and $40 every month on charcoal, where we are at, and that's more than 10% of their disposable income. So this is where the business model lies. At the same time as the forests are going to waste, being destroyed, there's an incredible amount of biomass going to waste. And what you see here on this picture is actually sawdust, amazingly. This is sawdust thrown away from pine and eucalyptus plantation wood, which is what we use as a raw material. But we can use other types of biomass. We're using fine biomass that today is just being thrown away, residues from agriculture and from sustainable forestry. So this is sawdust. It looks like sand, but it's not. And we upgrade this in a very efficient, very simple technology called pelletizing that is quite common in the United States, in Europe, in Russia, in Asia, but it's completely unheard of in Africa. And the thing is that people haven't done this because people don't need pellets. We use them for heating in the sort of northern part of the world, but this is a great fuel for cooking if you have the right stoves. The benefits of our model, which is a combination of clean burning cook stoves with clean and affordable and renewable fuel, is that you save about an hour cooking time every day. The indoor pollution, the indoor air is significantly improved. Fuel savings are 40 to 60%. The disposable income is increased by 5 to 10%, and the incredible reduction in CO2 is 4 tons per year and household. This is simply because we also save trees that otherwise would be turned into charcoal. We save about 6 tons of virgin forest every year per household. Here we have a couple of examples of our customers. To the left, you see Grace. She's a reseller, and her customers normally spend about $20 per month in charcoal, and now they spend about $14. And then we also work on a different field with institutional large stoves who cook for several hundreds of people on each stove. And they save about 40% on these stoves, and they have a payback time on these stoves a couple of months, the big ones. This is our value chain. Our products on the left, the stoves, we use domestic stoves that we buy from a supplier. We work with institutional stoves, big ones that we build ourselves and we have designed and built ourselves. And of course, pellets that we call Supermoto. Supermoto means strong fire, basically, in many African countries. We work through resellers who sometimes are funded by us, but also are funded by Kiva, and the beneficiaries are either homes or institutional users such as schools, orphanages, restaurants, etc. Here's a little bit of the market. In sub-Saharan Africa, there's about $10 billion spent every year, according to the World Bank, and in Lusaka, where we have our head office, is about 200,000 households, who need a cheaper, better, cleaner cooking solution. And then on top of that, 30,000 households in need of a backup during power cuts. So our primary market are the households, the urban and peri-urban households, those who actually spend money on the cooking fuel. And our secondary market for the big stoves are restaurants and boarding schools, orphanages, clinics, prisons that cook for 200 people and upwards. A little bit about where we are at. We have installed pelletizing system in Zambia. We have the capacity to produce 3,000 tons of fuel per year. We've spent about 4 years on research and development on stoves and fuel and the business model. We have local production of the large stove. We have 37 resellers in Zambia. We're expecting to have about 100 before the end of next year. We have for sure achieved the conceptual breakthrough. We're increasing our sales with about 20 to 30% per month. And we are expecting a commercial breakthrough within 6 months from now, from November 2014. We have an existing customer base with recurring fuel sales, and we already told you about our growth. Channel strategies. Domestic customers, we sell through resellers. I mentioned those. Direct sales that we do ourselves. And through payroll deduction, where we basically sell to people who have jobs through the payroll. This is a way to bridge the lack of credit in Africa. And also institutional customers, which are restaurants who usually spend, they consistently buy 200 to 300 kilograms of pellets per month. Orphanages, and also food processing industries who are roasting peanuts, for example. This is a little bit of our development over the years. We did our feasibility studies in 2010 to 2012. We raised 500,000. We installed a small pellet factory, and we had a very successful demonstration project. In 2013, we installed a large pellet factory. We introduced our products to the market in June. We sold about 1,000 high-end stoves, and we raised another $500,000. In 2014, we've been lowering the cost of the domestic stove. We're reaching a new target group, the bottom of the pyramid. We developed and produced now our institutional stove, and we started a new market introduction in August, and it's going really, really well. Basically, we'd like to grow now in Zambia. To grow and to become solid on the market, we need more capital. We need about $500,000 for OPEX, and then our plan is to install a new pellet factory nearby Lusaka, which is our main market, and for that we would need another $500,000. So our total ask to become totally established and very solid in Zambia is about $1 million US. A little bit about the market conditions. Success factors. There is an enormous potential for high adaptation of pellets in Africa. Simply, pellets have not been used, and they are a great fuel with these stoves. People are unhappy with charcoal. It's very expensive. Governments are very interested because they see the forest disappear. Everyone's worried, and no one knows what to do about it. And this is very interesting. Pellets can be made and sold cheaper than charcoal. Obviously, there are some serious barriers. There's no functioning credit market, so that's a stress on the company. People who have to pay in installments, which means that we often have to act as a bank. There's inertia. People are very much used to charcoal, and often they're so ingrained. It's basically an ingrained habit. So even if the people save money, it takes time for them to realize how much they save. And technically, I would say, it's difficult to combine a low price on a stove with a high-performing stove. So this is also part of our ongoing research into the market. A little bit about our partners. We have development partners such as Kiva, the Global Alliance for Clean Cook Stove, Mink, Business Incubator, and of course GSBI. Inyanyeri is a friend in Rwanda who's working with a similar concept. And then funding partners, EEP, which is mainly Finland, UK, and Austria. Almi, which is a Swedish development bank. Swedfund, who helps subsidize part of the cost of the pelletizer. And I would like to also stress SIDA, which is the Swedish International Development Cooperation Agency, who's been doing some of our funding. And then we have suppliers, product partners, such as Philips, Africa Clean Energy, Copperbelt Energy, and Sweden Power Chippers. A little bit about our team. The CEO is Matthias Olsson. He's an entrepreneur who's been working with the IT development, but mainly he's been working 5 years for Doctors Without Borders as a logistics manager and head of mission. My name is Per Löfberg. I'm also a founder. My background is in arts, but I moved into business many years ago, and I'm now a business developer for the company. Then Marion Peterson, who also happens to be Matthias' wife, has been working a lot with women's development over the years. She was raised in the United States and France, and she's completely bilingual. Alan is our sales manager. He's absolutely fantastic, and he's been working with Zamtel, Zambia breweries, which means basically Coca-Cola and beer, and he knows really how to reach the bottom of the pyramid. And then our CFO, he's a very experienced risk manager, Örjan Rödén, who basically keeps us in check. He's fantastic. So we'd like to invite you to join us and be part of this change. And with that, I'd like to finish off with saying Zikomo, which is thank you in Nyanja, one of the local languages. So thank you very much.